I've always been a chameleon. Whoever I'm around, I adapt to my environment and the people that I'm around really easily, which makes it quite difficult to be me, but very easy for me to be other people, I guess. They auditioned for a Sunday Montana theatre at my school called House of Sticks when I was 14. The role was a bulimic, sexually abused, self-mutilating teenager, which was written by Stephen Zanoski, actually. I guess I take direction well and I like being pushed really hard, so those kind of roles really appeal to me. I don't remember much about the shoot apart from pretending to have sex with... I had to make out with Madeline, actually. I had to make out with Madeline, typical Harry. I had to make out with Madeline in our school uniforms and pretend like we were having sex so that somebody outside a door thought that I was having sex with one of my school friends. You know, as you do. I think I was still at school, so I was actually wearing my Eat Some Girls Grammar School uniform as well. Yeah. Street Legal was the first job that I got straight out of school. So I was supposed to go to Elam and be a visual artist. It was like my first introduction into like series television and long running work. I had heaps of money in my bank account. Payday every week. It was a good time. Melanie Wythe was the daughter of the guy who owned the law firm where everybody worked, and so she was like spoilt rich girl, which is funny because I don't really get those parts anymore, but that was back when I was blonde. I auditioned for Harry with Dean, and then he wrote those parts around us, so it was like a Harry Sinclair process in terms of he would write during the week and then we would shoot on the weekend. So we shot for 8 months like that. With me and Dean, and it was like an 8-month long party. It was always really exciting because we hadn't read the script, so we didn't really know anything about what was coming up, so it was like a discovery. There was a discovery in the character, and there was a discovery in yourself, and there was a discovery in, because Harry liked to see how far he could push me and Dean as well, and he took great delight in putting us in uncomfortable situations and watching us try and wriggle our way out of them, I guess. And that film did really well. Everybody really liked that character, which is weird because she's so evil. It did really well overseas. I went to lots of film festivals and visited Tokyo lots of times. The Japanese went nuts over that character. I was in there with a couple of strippers and they taught me how to hold my breath properly so I could get to the bottom of the tank. Skills that I'll, at some point in my life I'm sure I'll have to use again. I have had to use it. I had to use it in Bliss, actually. We were shooting the lesbian scenes that were supposed to be under the water at Piha or whatever, and we shot them inside a pool in Henderson, and we had to use the same technique I'd learnt from the strippers at Mermaids. Fracture was like my other Bliss, I guess, like something that my whole being and soul went into, and I lost myself apart from that character, and by the end of it I was like a shell, I guess, but a really interesting kind of, I guess, spiritual process about going somewhere with emotions and with the script that you don't get in other productions. Like lots of other characters I play, like strong, sexually aggressive, angry, but she pushed it to like another level in terms of she came from like a really dark place. She was quite fragile, but a really hard exterior, and a bit of a punk. Gibson Group did such a good job on making it look beautiful. Brendan Donovan and stuff, like working with him was a really great experience, and I got a lot out of that. It's the only thing I ever get recognised for. I mean, yeah, like Bliss and any film, there's maybe 2 or 3 people, a week after it's screened where they're like, hey, you're the, but no, Whittaker's chocolate advert without a doubt. It's the only thing I ever get recognised for. You know, it's Darryl Ward. You know, it looks beautiful. It's Whittaker's. It's a, you know, ethically sound product. At least it's not a McDonald's advert or something. You know, that would be just really difficult to deal with. The director Olivia Laurie Kay came to New Zealand looking for a girl to play Katherine in a short film, and we shot it in Berlin. Maybe 2 years after that. So I flew to Berlin and we shot this very strange, very European cinema short film. I focused on different parts of her writing, or in terms of my research of the character for the different roles, and the way that she was played, and both of those roles are very different. What Olivia wanted and what Fiona wanted, in terms of the scripts, were very different. I think I shot it in 2003 maybe. So I was playing Katherine older than I was playing her last year. But it was like two different characters. I mean, it really was. I just had Dee Dee, my daughter, and so she was 3 months old, so I was still feeding, and so I would like pump milk out in the bus, and then like express milk, and then like open the door and hand it to the runner, you know, for him to take it home to the baby, which I'm sure he was like, But it was emotionally really difficult for me because when, I don't know, like as a mother and you're still feeding, you have this bond that I was first time mum, so I didn't really know how I was going to react. And she would come in at lunchtimes, and it was emotionally really, really difficult for me. But I was so happy to have the job as well, because before Dee Dee I hadn't worked for a while, and then I got pregnant, and so it was the first thing I'd auditioned for after having Dee Dee, and I was stoked. They gave the script out to most of the actors to read, and when I read the script I was like, I have to play this part. And they wouldn't even audition me. They were like, you're too old. Because she was 18, I was 28. And they were like, no, too old, they're going for a younger girl than you. And I just rang Imogen, my agent, and rang Sandra from the agency, and just harassed. And I just knew I could do it if they'd just give me a chance. And then they couldn't find a girl who was that young. And so they auditioned me, and Fiona had said, I have watched the other things that you've done, and I didn't like them very much. I find you cold. And I was like, brutal, alright. But I knew I could do it. Shortland Street has taught me a whole different, lots of different skills that I hadn't learned on anything else, and just the sheer amount of lines you have to learn and the fast pace. And I remember going into my first week and it feeling like I was trying to ride a bike up a hill in a really high gear. So it was like, this is awkward and uncomfortable, and I don't know what I'm doing. And I went to see Stephen, and I was like, I feel like I'm not hitting my stride. And he was like, no processing time. Don't worry about it. Don't process anything. When people are talking to you, that's when you process it, and you just deliver the line straight after that. So it's a whole different way of acting. But once you get the hang of it, then it becomes quite fun, It becomes almost like a game or a test to you, because you're churning out like so many scenes that it's kind of like, fourth quarter, we're 3 down, we got 20 minutes left, and it's like such a team effort. I'm constantly surprised at how we can be like an hour down at lunchtime and we still manage to shoot like 15 scenes in an afternoon or something. Yeah.